What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. I'm sorry it's taken me so long to post a new video, but I went on a little vacation. We went to La La Land and just had a good time out there, spent some time in Hollywood, and California Adventures kind of somewhat reopened, so we went over there. It was a really fun time. For those of you who didn't know, I used to live in LA. I used to live in Hollywood, so it was fun to go back and kind of see my old spot and where I used to live. So yeah, so that's why it took me so long to make another video, but we just got back, and so I just felt the need to update you guys. And I know a lot of my lizards need a lot of love, and so I wanted to come in here and kind of take care of them and kind of just make a short little video for you guys. So in today's video, I'm going to basically just be feeding all of my lizards and kind of just going over with you guys how that process is done and what insect feeders I like to use for the majority of my animals. There's a few staples that I use that I'll basically get into in this video, and we'll basically talk about, you know, which ones I think are the best. And by the way, look at the bioactive. All the grass grew in a lot quicker than I thought it was going to be honest. And a lot like heavier. It's starting to die already though, but that's okay. But the bioactive still looking really good. So today, sorry, I'm sweating. Yeah, damn, it's hot in here. It's like 82 degrees in my reptile room. All right, so we're gonna start off with the African fire skink, because he needs some love. And today I'm gonna be feeding a mix of dubia roaches and crickets, maybe a couple hornworms to some of these guys. But let's see if I can kind of get this recorded for you guys. My little guy, he's a great eater. I really, honestly, I do not like this top opening cage. So I gave him some dubia roaches, and now just gonna put some crickets in there. I usually don't feed like both dubias and crickets, but I had them both today. And crickets are just usually a lot easier to feed because you kind of just throw them in there and they don't really bury themselves. They kind of just run around. Easier for your animals to get. But dubia roaches are definitely more nutritious for your animal to eat. So you really gotta just kind of pick and choose. I used to only feed crickets, and then I stopped that once I found out about dubia roaches and started feeding more dubias, less crickets. But crickets are just a lot easier to feed. It's easier for your animal to catch them. So let's feed some crickets. So all we're gonna do is just gonna dump some in there. We are going to move on to Peach, the Panther Chameleon. And I'm gonna give her a little treat today. I'm gonna give her some hornworms. For those of you guys who don't know what hornworms are, these are hornworms. Not the most nutritious, but do provide a lot of water for your animals, so that's why they're good.
Slimy, it's satisfying.
You don't want to feed them as a staple though, because your chameleon or basically any lizard that you feed it to are gonna basically get addicted to it, and it's kind of like, it's almost more like junk food a little bit. So you don't want to overfeed them with hornworms, but they are a very, very, very good treat. Young Kale over here. What's up, Kale? You don't get fed today. Tomorrow. The process of feeding like hornworms is really slow with Peach, so again, she gets crickets as well once I'm done feeding her hornworms. So I'm going to make sure that I feed her some crickets. Chameleons also do really well with dubia roaches, but I have more crickets than I do dubia roaches, so we're just gonna feed her some of these crickets, and she catches them a lot easier. Dubia roaches just tend to stay hidden a lot of the time, and then they come out at night. So for your non-nocturnal animals, for your diurnal animals, it's really harder for them to catch the dubias than it is for the crickets. So that's why I like to feed like Peach more crickets than anything. I try to put as many crickets as I can on the side, because obviously Peach is a chameleon, she likes to stay up high. So I try to put as many crickets as I can on the mesh, but obviously it's somewhat difficult when I'm doing it with one hand. Oh, and I almost forgot to tell you guys, I do sprinkle supplements onto my insects. So some of the times I'm sprinkling calcium onto the insects. Today was actually like a multivitamin that I sprinkled. I don't know if you guys can tell that I sprinkled it in there, but there was a little bit in there. And I can actually, let me show you guys. This is what I use for the multivitamins. Works really, really well. And not too expensive. 13 bucks for this, and it lasts a pretty long time. I supplement them with this about once to probably about twice a month, and then the calcium I do that about once a week. So the calcium's the same brand as well too. I just can't find where my bottle is right now, but it is in here somewhere. Just wanted to let you guys know that they are getting supplemented as well, so that's probably something that you're gonna wanna do too. So now it is time to feed Rango the crested gecko, and for those of you who already have crested geckos or know something about crested geckos, you know that they actually have their own powdered diet that you mix with water, and that's kind of what you can feed them as a staple. But they also do like to have some crickets, and it actually gives them a little bit of enrichment to actually have to hunt for their food every once in a while. So that's why I feed Rango some crickets every once in a while, maybe about once a week, and then the rest of the time pretty much they get their own powdered, he gets his own powdered diet. So I'm gonna just throw some crickets in there, and you guys probably won't see him eat. He doesn't eat until nighttime anyways because they're nocturnal, so you probably won't see that happening. So next we have Leo the leopard gecko, and I usually don't hand feed Leo, but for the sake of this video I'm gonna try and see if he actually wants to eat off tongs, and we'll see if it works. I think you guys are starting to see a trend here. Dubia roaches and crickets really are the staples that I use for the most part. It just depends on if I have time to sit there and hand feed, then I will do dubias. And if I am in a rush or need to go somewhere, just don't have the time, then I will throw some crickets in there and let them hunt on their own. But I also, I mean, there's a bunch, you'll see here in a second, there's a bunch of other feeders that I use. Super worms, mealworms, sometimes wax worms, all of those as well, but they just aren't the staples. The staple diets that I use for my lizards are going to be dubia roaches and crickets for the most part, and then superworms come right after that, and then everything else kind of just falls into place. Whenever there's butterworms too, I love butterworms, but it's hard to find those guys anywhere. All right, you guys, so this isn't a feeding, but I do have a surprise for you guys that I haven't shown on the channel yet. I did get a new lizard, haven't shown it on the channel yet, but if you follow me on Instagram, then you probably already know what it is. And I am really, really, really excited about this. So let me just go in here and show you guys. So if you guys can see right there, I don't know if you guys can tell what that is, but that is a red tegu that I am just so excited, so ecstatic to have in my collection. I've wanted one forever. He's still kind of in brumation. I'm kind of disturbing him right now. Don't want to mess with him too much, but just had to show you guys. I just had to show you guys him. His name is Deadpool, and I am just so happy that he's here. I can't wait for him to wake up completely from brumation. He's woken up a few times, but I'm just trying not to rush it too much. But I just had to bug him today so that I could show you guys because he hasn't been on the channel yet. And yeah, so just sorry, I'm trying to put his hide back, but just a wonderful animal. So super happy to have him in the collection. So I know Godzilla, the rhino iguana, is a lizard technically, but I fed him earlier today and we're kind of talking about insects, so I don't feel like feeding him, but I do just gotta kind of show him to you guys because he is awesome. He's growing so much. So you're looking a little angry, huh, buddy? You seen Godzilla vs. Kong yet? We'll watch it together soon, don't worry. So yeah, just wanted to show him really quick. And now I'm going to take you to feed another new addition to the family. Let's go check it out. So in here is another addition to the family that I have not shown on this channel yet until now. So let's see if we can find a little guy. Usually under here. And yeah, there he is. So this is Littlefoot, and I got him from a family that just couldn't take care of him anymore. And the reason why he's named Littlefoot is because he had if you could see, I don't know if you could see, but his left leg, it had like some stuck shed, or I honestly don't even really know what was wrong with it, but it was just really bad, covered in blood, scabbed up. And I took him to my vet and she gave me some medicine for it. She was thinking she might have to amputate it, but he recovered well, and luckily that didn't have to happen. But he is super cute. Just wanted to show you guys him really quick. And so we are going to feed him, and we are going to give him some mealworms. So he eats a lot of mealworms and crickets, and pretty soon I'm gonna start putting him on some more dubia roaches. But for the most part, his staple right now is mealworms and crickets because they're a little bit smaller. Dubia roaches tend to be a little bit wider, and I just don't wanna risk him like choking on one or something like that. So he's going to get these mealworms right now, and we'll see if he eats. And last but certainly not least is the bearded dragon Mercury. Now Mercury's staple diet is dubia roaches, of course, but I don't have any of the really big ones. So the second thing I kind of feed him a lot of is superworms, and then I'm gonna give him a little bit of hornworms because he loves hornworms. So we're gonna feed him, and I used to feed him crickets when he was younger, but as he got bigger, crickets just really aren't enough, and a lot of them survive and he can't catch them all. So I just kind of stay away from crickets for him, but crickets would also be good for your bearded dragons. But for me, dubia roaches are really the main staple diet that I feed him, and he seems to love those, but don't have those today. So let's feed him what we got. So that is it for today's video, you guys. Unless your lizard has like a specialized diet, dubia roaches and crickets, in my opinion, are the best and most healthy thing to feed them, and probably the easiest, and crickets especially the cheapest. But it's really up to you guys for what you feed your animals. But if you want them to live a long and healthy life, then you want to feed them the healthy choices, and dubias and crickets, in my opinion, are the most healthy choices. If this video today seemed kind of just all over the place and rushed, that's because it was. I just felt like I needed to put a video out there for you guys after this little vacation that I had. I didn't really have anything else lined up, and today was pretty much the only day that I could film. So I kind of just wanted to put something out there for you guys. So we'll get back to our normal, our normal filming schedule and normal, quality videos. But for now, this is going to have to do, and I just had to put this all together for you guys to give you guys a little something, at least a little something. It's been too long. Make sure you guys like this video, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, and please share this video. Make sure you guys leave a comment and let me know what you guys thought about this video, and let me know if you guys agree with the types of feeders that I feed my lizards. Until next time, everybody, my name is Pierce LaValle. This is Pierce's Planet, and remember, it's all about the reps, baby. Peace.